G'day legends, I hope you're all amazing. Let's take a very quick look at the latest public beta release for the FM9 because there are a whole host of new updates and improvements which have trickled down from the latest Axe-Fx firmware, and there's a super cool new display mode on there. Let's take a look at that and then we'll pull some tones. To access the new display mode, all you have to do on the front panel is turn the B encoder to the right, and check this out. Look at that. Big labels on there. You can use the nav buttons over here to scroll up and down and left to right on the scenes. And if you want to scroll to new presets, use the value wheel. And there's this kind of cool grayed out mode in here, which tells you that you haven't selected the preset yet. You can hit enter on there and select the preset, or you can hit the value wheel to select the preset. Very, very nice. Let's go back to that main preset there. And we'll just play around with a few things on here and basically show you what I'm using live and some of the new functions and features in here. I think you all know what to expect from my live presets. You know, USA lead mid-gain amp model. I'm doing some stuff in the ideal tab with the input boost and the fat switch. They are chained to a control switch, which switches on and off per scene. So for my lead scene, I get a boost and the fat switch on there. I'm using the new modern expander gate type in here with these settings, still side chained to input 1. I've got the medium to soft knee in here. The new gates sound fantastic, as do the new compressors. Usual cabinet IR, parametric EQ, cutting out quite a lot of high end on here because this is designed for live, loud usage. Bit of multiband on here just to kind of tame the chugs, London plate reverb, and some dual detune in here. I've got the detune set up for scene ignore, so if I don't want ultimate grease across all scenes, I can just bypass it and it's done. But for now, I kind of want ultimate grease. There's a few fun little tricks on there, as you heard. The clean scene is this parametric EQ, which I'm using like a kind of pickup converter. I did a video on the channel a little while ago talking about how I set that up, which you can check out. That's going into a tilt EQ and the studio feed forward compressor. I was using the feedback compressor. I kind of like the way this one sounds a little bit more now. I just call these two here my Rockman module together with the stereo tri-chorus set on here. So that's like my super, super 80s style clean scene. But when I want it, I don't really need this during a live gig, but you know, if I do, a bit of grease in there is pretty nice. That filtered sound that you heard in there is a filter block attached with the frequency being modified by an ADSR. In the controllers tab, you can see in here, ADSR 1 is set up with the following settings. I basically did it because it's timed to a particular section of a song. When I go back to, say, scene 1, you can see that the controller's channel actually changes on there. So it's turning on this filter block, and it's also swapping over to that kind of preset ADSR sweep. It's just a custom filter sweep that I programmed. Really, really fun. If you want to know more about it, I can do a video rundown on it at some point in the future. What else is going on there? For the lead sound, as you can hear here, just using the dual delay, set up pretty greasy. You know, I might actually bring the overall delay level down live depending on the room. If it's a pretty echoey room, I'd go with less delay. On scene, what is it, scene 3, got another delay. This one is a vintage digital setup for a dotted eighth note. You could hear really nice and percussive in there. Scene 4 is the same as that, but it's using the stereo tri-chorus on there again, just for lots of grease and wobble. A thing that has been improved with this firmware, I did a little video on it a little while ago on the G66 channel. The wah block engage and auto engage isn't quite as fast and drastic. It's a lot smoother and cleaner. So I'll let you hear that. It's a really nice, smooth transition into the wah now. Being able to turn on the input boost and the fat switch, I love with the Mark series. There's the JPIIC Plus shred mode enabled in here. Let's hear the difference between that and my usual CC boost. Too much fun, and I know some people are going to sit there and go, oh, it sounded really distorted before and it sounds really distorted after. Feels different under the fingers, and most of this stuff is just to make me happy. You know, is it going to be a life-changing experience to use a different boost? Maybe not, but I enjoy it more, and that's kind of the point when I'm dialing in these presets. So that's a few things that I've been using in my live preset. There's also a bunch of extra fun stuff. I might switch to the Strat really quickly so you can hear some of the new drives in here. This is just a deluxe reverb model together with an EV IR that I made. You can get the IR for free on Exchange or on my Discord, which is linked in the video description. Let's just hear the new OD1 overdrive with it. There's also the Bosom boost based on a Friedman Buxom boost, which has a whole bunch of controls like tight, a 3-band EQ, and an overall boost. Just setting it up for a flat boost gives us this. You got to try that one with a Marshall as well. That one is a lot of fun. I should try some of the updated comps as well. I've done a separate video on the AXFX 3 firmware that added all of these, but the JFet Sustainer is pretty wild if you really want that kind of compressor as a boost style thing. I'll kick it in at stock settings and I'll bring the sustain control up. Check this one out. last one before I go, the 5150 models have had some extra little updates. I think the Rectos as well. I haven't really done a lot of videos with these models, but I'll let you hear the PVH 6160 Plus lead on here. You can see the settings that I've got it on at the moment. There is no boost on in the preamp tab or anything like that. I'm using it with the greenback IR, which, you know, whatever you want to do with this kind of thing. A lot of those kind of metalcore tones were probably V30s, but this sounds absolutely savage. And when you kick in like the Horizon drive or something like that in front of it, kind of awesome. I'm going to play you all out with this one. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments section below. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, links in the video description to support me directly. You can get this beta release, whatever you want to call it, off the Fractal forum. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.